I can't believe I've done this twice. I have zoomed in on the photograph to show you, which is what I took. A photograph I took on my bike last Saturday. Can you see that? Sorry about the reflections. I'm just going to show you the finished one. That's one of them. I am absolutely furious with myself. I'm an absolute idiot. Unforgivable. I really am sorry that you missed the original one. I'm really, well, what I call myself is unprintable. Right, there we go, that's the second one. I'll tell you about it. I'm going to do something entirely different. I'm going to go back to a line and wash with acrylic ink and make one up. I've had enough of doing this. I'll probably do this as an ink one, but I'll do it from these rather than the photograph I took. So sorry about that. I've done it so many times. Set the video, set the camera on what I'm going to do, talked about it, and then forgot to zoom out and onto the demo. So I've wasted my time for 2 demos now, but at least you've seen the demo photograph. So I'll check now that I'm not zoomed in anywhere else. I'll just bring the camera up to it. Oh, it just drives me around the twist. Right, I'll clean my palette now, ready for the onslaught. No, it's just, I'll give it a spray with some water, put it in a Ziploc bag till we get round to the painting. Or maybe we'll just do it as a drawing and not as a painting. I can paint it in after on another demo. Right, so I won't be needing this. I'll just give it a spray and put it in the bag. That'll stay nice and wet until I use it again. The paint will be lovely and soft. Right, okay, so something like that. The River Wandle at Hackbridge, all my spiel was about the Water Environment Agency altering the flow of this river to make it even faster to avoid floods. So I've got some riggers here. So I'll put in the distance. I've got my black acrylic paint. I've got this newish rigger, so let's just get a nice bit of water on there. So we'll put in fairly high horizon. This is just the far bank. All artificial, because we've got some nice banks coming up here, with a split, with the river going partly up there and there's more of a painting than so we've got. I'll put the bank behind that, just in light dry brush. Right, okay. So we've got a lot of foliage in the distance here, so oops, that's flicking. We'll use a shorter one. That's got a bit solid there, but since it's in the distance, we won't worry too much about it. And we've got some nice shadow area in here. Right, that's the dark bit in. Right, I'll just put a bit of detail on there, break that log of paint up, and we'll put in some faint-ish just put these trees in. I'll make them look a little bit more distant than they actually are. But it's lovely drawing with the brush. You can draw with what I used to use, or do use, a sharpened stick or a twig. Anything that makes a mark. We're trying to make art rather than slavish copies of everything. And this is a problem when you're beginning. It's in the photograph, so it must go in. No, it's in the photograph. Leave it out. Right. So I've added a lot more trees than are actually there, but so let's just. You do need to try to be aware of where your brush is actually dipping in. Right, now we've got a bank coming around here. We've got reflections coming down here. And we've got a light spot in there with some shadow. This is like a negative shape. I'm drawing around the light areas. And then we'll just put in some detail on this bank here. Put a little bit of shading on it. Now up the middle of here we've got this artificial bank that's been put in to separate the water and make it split so the water comes under the bridge. This is Hack Bridge. It was a ford originally, bygone times, it's now a main road. Right, now with reflection coming down here. or put some reeds. It's more grass at the moment, but right, okay, so that's in there. Now we've got to show all this foliage up here now. There's a lot of it, so we just it's easier using the smaller brush because there's less chance of it doing that, blobbing. And we're painting, the Fabriano is not a very rough paper, so we're filling in lots of hollows where a paper like Arches or Saunders would be rougher and would be more hit and miss and give a much nicer effect. But since we know that, we can compensate for it, so we put the shadows in. So this is shadow. Right, now we're putting a darker bit of shadow here, coming down to the bank. Right, now we're putting some branches. The thing with this is to make sure you keep your brush wet, because if you don't, when the paint hardens, you like that. Right, okay, that'll do. Let's get the shadow in here. Yeah. Right, now we've got this over here, so we'll put that in. We've got a nice dark bit here. Get our depth of the shadow in coming down here. This is all grass up here, along here. So I was going to do two painting demonstrations this morning, and both gone wrong. Now I wonder why. The age. Now I've got this reflection coming down from those trees behind, but there's also a nice light area through here, coming from up here. So this is sort of all banking here. I'm trying to show it. So and I've got a big tree coming up there too. Right. Put some shadow in. Get the shadow in. But I want a lot of that white shine through. It's very difficult to do before I put in the big tree. Right, big tree. Coming off stage, from off stage. I'm just pushing the brush now, it seems to make a different sort of mark, more random. Now there are no reflections here, the reflections are coming through here because this is all grass. I'm going to struggle to show that, so I'll show it like broken water. But let's put a shadow in there, I'll put a reflection in. I take my own advice. Alright, we'll just bring that reflection down there. Let's just delineate that bank across here. Bring that down there. Right, I don't know whether that's any good or what. Right, before I ruin it, if I haven't already, I'll give it a signature and I'll put it in a mount, and I might clean the brush. We'll have a look at it and see what it looks like. We might just pass this off as a drawing, because I'm still seething with my stupid self. I could go over with sepia, couldn't I? So there we are, line and wash it with using a brush and acrylic paint. I'm not going to show you the photograph again because I'm sick of it. Now that needs something in there, I think, but no, I'll leave it. I've got to try to get the recession of distance here by the size and the tone, but it's not easy. But I think well, I could wash it over with what do you reckon? Bit of burnt umber or bit of burnt sienna and Payne's grey. Oh yeah, let's wash it over. Well, you've seen it dry. Let's wash it in. I'll give it a dry. Take your headphones off. Here we go. Right, okay, put the clips back, keep it all nice and flat. The painting is very, very simple, isn't it? It's just filling in really, keeping it flat. Right, I've got to wash it all over. So I'll take out my palette from the Ziploc bag. Right, right, so nice bit of wet. Okay, so burnt sienna, give it a bit of a clean. So a bit of Payne's grey, nice bit of sienna for the sky. The sienna. And then we'll bit of warm. Now, look at the reflection in. Just warm sienna in the foreground here. Nice warm colour in this foliage here to separate it from the background, which would be grey. Right, bit of grey. Right, let's stretch it out. And then I'll go back with them. Oh, well, let's just hold it till it dries. I'll just dry it off. Take headphones off. Well, that is a rough impression of what I took the photograph of. So this mount here. So there we are, line and wash, my local river, River Wandle, third attempt number 2. No, that was attempt number 2, that was attempt number 1. So there we are. I'll probably paint on the backs of those. Save paper. Right, I think, to be quite honest, I prefer that. I hope you enjoyed it anyway. Perhaps it's not been such a disaster today. Let's just come in. There we are. Right, enjoy the rest of your weekend, your holiday weekend. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.